You're listening to the IB4E Coaching Podcast.
Brought to you by IB4E Coaching, business coaching for executives, entrepreneurs, and small business professionals. Learn more at ib4e-coaching.com. Hey, Coach Harlan here. Welcome back to the podcast. Hope you guys are having an exceptional week. I'm having a great week, and I'm excited to introduce you to my guest today. Please help me welcome David Brooks. David Brooks is a visionary founder of Contractor Rhino, a dynamic digital marketing and accounting agency dedicated to empowering trade businesses across the United States. With a deep understanding of the unique challenges and opportunities faced by contractors and service providers, David launched Contractor Rhino to provide specialized solutions that help these businesses thrive in an increasingly digital world. Under his leadership, the agency offers a full spectrum of services from strategic digital marketing and SEO to financial management and accounting, all tailored to meet the distinct needs of trade professionals. Driven by a passion for innovation and a commitment to client success, David has built Contractor Rhino into a trusted partner for contractors nationwide, helping them boost visibility, streamline operations, and achieve sustainable growth. David, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, this is awesome. I was on your podcast just a couple weeks ago. Contractor Rhino, very good podcast. Love the way you handle things and stuff. And I love that you work with contractors. A lot of my coaching clients are also contractors. And you're right, it's kind of a unique area. You know, some businesses you can say, hey, there's a lot of AI tools out there that'll help you. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're a commercial electrician, AI is not going to help much, right? Or maybe they do. I guess that's what we'll find out, is if there's ways that those things can help these guys. But yeah, I love that you work with commercial contractors and stuff. So very cool. Very cool. Love your bio. Like some of the stuff you've been doing. We want to talk about your podcast. We want to talk about the books, because you're a published author. But before we get started, David, I have 10 questions that I like to ask every one of my guests. Now, listeners know these are the questions made famous on the TV show Inside the Actors Studio, where the host James Lipton asks these same questions of his guests, the Hollywood stars of TV, film, and stage. And I figured if these questions are good enough for the Hollywood elite, they are certainly good enough for my guests. So, David, if you're ready, I've got 10 questions for you.
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word. My favorite word would be thinking ahead.
Good. And what is your least favorite word?
I'll get back to you.
I've heard that a few times. Yes. Okay. What turns you on?
Brilliant ideas.
Nice. What turns you off?
Cabbage.
That is a first. I've never had somebody say cabbage. That's awesome. Very good. All right. What sound or noise do you love?
Woo!
Okay. And what sound or noise do you hate?
Like a gurgling noise. My mom does this scratching of her throat. So
I am with you. Yes. All right. What is your favorite curse word?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Can you use that in the sentence for me?
Yeah, I use that. Oh man, peanut butter and jelly.
Okay. I take it you have little kids around.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh, that's a good one. Legal.
Really? Okay. Very good. What profession would you not like to do?
Ooh, let's see. Man, that's a really good one. Zookeeper.
Okay. Okay. And finally, David, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
welcome.
Nice. Yeah. Anything short of that would be concerning,
Yeah.
right? Good job. All right. David, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I want to talk about how you got your start, how you came up with Contractor Rhino, and some of the things that you do to help folks. We'll talk about your podcast. We'll talk about your book. And at some point, we'll transition into courage and leadership.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Listeners, we're going to talk about all that and more right after this. So stick with us. And I'm back with my guest, David Brooks. David, thanks again for agreeing to be on the podcast. Like I said, I had a great time on your podcast a couple weeks ago and stuff. Love to get you on here because I want to talk more about what it is you do with Contractor Rhino. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. You didn't like, maybe you did when you were a kid. Did you say, "Hey, I want to have, a marketing and SEO type company," or what is it you wanted to do when you first grew up?
Wow. When I first grew up, I really wanted to, first I wanted to be a barber. I wanted to be
Okay.
a barber. That didn't last but so long. And then I had no idea what I wanted to do until I got into high school. I was got good at a few different things. I had an interest in the trades because I knew that the trades would be something that, you could depend upon, something that always would be needed. But then I was also really good at legal and finance. And
Okay.
I really excelled in those two areas. But I get anxious at times. So, taking legal and taking finance, I was really, getting superb grades above 100 average in all my tests and assessments. And I just couldn't stomach the idea of going to school for that long,
Yeah.
because I knew a lot more than the average person should know. And then I just pivoted. Wanted to do the trades. It didn't quite work out. And then I was able to pivot over into marketing.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think people give the trades enough consideration. You
Mhm.
know, a lot of schools push you for the college degree. They push you to go on and be white collar someplace. There are so many opportunities, and I know, and people too that are making millions of dollars in the
Mhm.
trades.
Mhm.
I don't understand why schools don't help people see that.
I agree.
So, what trades were you interested in at first?
Yeah. So at first, I wanted to be a home builder, and then also a commercial electrician. Was like my top two choices.
Nice. Did you ever work in those fields at all?
I did. Yep, I was able to work as an electrician apprentice for a little bit, and that was great. That was a great opportunity.
Nice. Yeah, the apprenticeships are really good. A couple of my clients have apprentices that they hire on quite a bit, and just these guys are, like you said, they're set for life.
Mhm.
You'll always need these different trades, and the service they provide people. So that's excellent. All right, so you made the transition then over to the marketing and the digital side, the SEO stuff. Tell me about that. How'd you get started?
Yeah, so I got started. I actually wound up working at an agency, and that's how I got my start. And I came in and just being able to meet all the different people and all the different departments that were, when you get a new job, they tell you like, oh, make sure you kind of meet everybody and just get a feel and sense for what they do. When I started out, I was more or less like, "Hey, I'm not here to just do like a 5 minute, what's my, this is my name. What do you do?" I was like dedicating like half a day for
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody, just soaking up so much knowledge, and it made me really knowledgeable. So instead of knowing just how to do my job, I kind of learned how to do a lot of other people's jobs too, just because I had that passion at the time, just starting out and really thirsting for that knowledge. So, I developed my skills, had the opportunity, and then it presented myself that it was some things that weren't sitting right with me. There's some best practices not being followed. There was a lot of pass the blame if something goes wrong, somebody drops the ball. It's like it's on you, and or just not the truth being told to clients. And I just really wanted to be, honest, to do things right, provide the most value as possible. And I saw the area of opportunity of, hey, I learned a lot of different things, and I think I can go out and do this on my own and be able to provide more value. And I figure that the people that really could benefit from it both ways is the trades. You work with the trades, they're able to kind of provide for their family, but also they're able to provide a service for people that really are in need for it. So it was a win-win.
Nice. Yeah, I love working with the trades because, like you said, these are guys that love what they do, so they
Mhm.
go out on their own. Now they know how to, their craft, right? But they don't know how to run a business necessarily. They don't know how to work with employees. They know hardly anything about finance. A lot of them
Mhm.
go into business running the business like the person they bought the business from, or running it like they've seen done elsewhere, and they
Mhm.
struggle and they struggle. So yeah, I think that's definitely a group you want to help. And I love, like you said, they set up a business. It helps them, it helps their family, but it also helps all those employees, and they're providing a service that people need. So I think it's
Mhm.
just, yeah, great. So Contractor Rhino, how did you settle on Contractor Rhino?
Yeah, so I had so many different iterations. So the contractor Rhino used to be the service guys marketer. So Contractor Rhino used to be the service guys marketer. Went through some rebranding and was just trying to, think of something that wasn't already taken. It's something that would be easy to use as a URL to, and just kept thinking and thinking, pitched around a lot of different ideas, and thought about, what a rhino, when you think of a rhino, you think of, strength, you think of, something that's is massive. And, and I figure, we work with contractors, we want them to be viewed as strong and a reputable force.
That's that's good. Love it. My wife and I were fortunate enough to go on a photo safari, traveling through South Africa and stuff like that. And we went out and actually saw rhinos in the wild, and they're an endangered species. So it kind of says a lot too. You're not common,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
So it sets you apart a little bit. Very cool. Good deal. So tell me about the marketing and the SEO stuff that you work with, and the financial side. You said that you like the finance side. How do you help businesses?
Yeah, we help businesses by providing them with marketing solutions that are tailored specifically for the businesses, their goals, and where they want to go. So that's everything from search engine optimization, Google Ads, increasing their social media presence, getting their branding right, website design and development, and then also all the way down to the aspect of CRM reactivation, email campaigns, helping them out with Google reviews and reputation management. Our rule of thumb is, when we're helping contractors is, considering two different things while we're crafting a strategy. Number one is, where's your target market at? What is the size of your target market? We want to make sure that it's enough buyers in the areas that we're targeting to generate enough consistent business and growth. And then two, we always say a good rule of thumb is if you can spend 7 to 10% of your gross revenue on marketing, that's going to be able to help set your business up for success.
Nice. Very cool. And reputation management, especially in the contractor world, right? The service world,
Mhm.
that can be huge because a disgruntled customer that puts something out online could damage your reputation if it's not handled correctly. Now, I've got a story, a past client, somebody said something bad about his company, right? You guys did X, and
Mhm.
I think they damaged her iPad or something like that. Well, this guy went online and commented, "That wasn't us. We didn't do that. You shouldn't falsely accuse me." And then she said, blah, blah, blah. And he said, blah. And it got down to almost as childish as, you're stupid. Well, you're stupid and ugly. And it just went on and on and on. And it's like, stop,
Yeah.
stop responding. I mean, it would have cost maybe $500, $800 to get a new iPad. Just do
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
Do it and let everybody know. So sorry this happened. I will make it right. I think that garnishes a lot more, on the client side than this. This went on forever. And I said, look at how many people have viewed this so far. What's your average job, right? Well, times that many people, that's how much money you just lost
Yep.
because your ego got in the way.
Mm.
Just you can't do that. Do you have any stories like that where people have had to rebuild their reputation after something like that?
Yeah, we had uh where the reputation was the Google reviews was, they're not respectful when they answer the phone, or they didn't have the proper phone etiquette, or they never get back to you. And it was, quite alarming, being able to see that. And this, and then on the flip side of it, it was, well, let me see if we can get call tracking in here and listen to the calls ourselves. And it was like, wow,
Mm,
these are really valid. These are no, these are valid points. Like I could hear it, through the call data is, hey, what do you want for lunch? I'm thinking
yeah,
of a sandwich. What are you thinking of?
yeah.
Pasta. And it's but in the meantime, somebody's calling for services and you're talking about lunch, and it's still an ongoing conversation, and it's
Yeah.
no, it's not proper phone etiquette.
I've seen that too, where you get on the call, you're trying to, set up an appointment or something, and in the background you hear somebody telling a bad story, a dirty story, or they're cursing, or they're angry about something, and you're hearing all this. It's like, what in the world's going on? How
Yes.
professional is this business? And a lot of
Correct.
times the business owners don't know anything about this, right?
Oh,
Wow. Wow, that's scary.
yes.
Um, So when it comes to the marketing and stuff for a lot of these service providers, what are they missing? What is it that they aren't doing that they should consider doing?
Yes. So wow. So many different things, areas I can go in. I think something that they're missing is a conversation I was just having the other day. When you list out your services on your website, you may have it where you have, your service listed and a bunch of different pictures next to that service, but that's all you have. And those services don't lead to any individual pages. I
Okay.
think that that's where a lot of people are missing out is, hey, if you're doing electrical installation, then you need to have a page for installation. If you're doing repair and replacement, different things that people could be searching into Google or Bing, you want to make sure you capture that audience. So by creating those different pages on your website, it's going to really be able to set your content apart, not only for Google because it's going to help with a user experience, but also for the user. Like if I want to investigate or get more information on this particular service, I'm landing on a page that's dedicated for this particular service.
Right.
And that's what they are missing. And then the flip side to that is getting those common questions that people usually ask
Okay.
when they're looking for that service, answering those questions on that specific page.
Nice. Yeah, I because there are a lot of times where I'll go out and look for something and it says we provide the service, but you have no idea what does that entail, right?
Yes,
It'd
what
be
does
nice
it
to get
tell,
some
right? Yep.
detail. Yep.
Yep.
Very cool. What about pricing? Do you recommend them putting prices online?
Yeah, so I think pricing is good if you could maybe for like a maintenance plan. I think
Okay.
it's like, maintenance package is good for a loyalty rewards program, or maybe like a discount, like a rebate is really good for putting it on the website. But for like maybe detailed pricing information, if you could get a hold of somebody and get them to call you, book an appointment, it's really good because, you know, they may be more convinced if they talk to you on the phone, and then they're able to get the full value. But if
Yeah.
you just have that pricing, you might get some price shop. You're gonna get both. You're gonna get the price shoppers, and you're gonna get people that may be like, I may do it, but without hearing the details and the information, they might not even get the full value.
Yeah. And I know a lot of residential contractors that they don't want to put pricing on there because they think that's what people are going to do. They're going to look at the price and then go somewhere else and try to get it cheaper, right?
Mm,
And it's like it's not so much the pricing, it's the value and the quality.
value. Yep.
Can Are we dependable? Because a lot of contractors have a bad reputation. You call them, you schedule an appointment, they don't show up, or they're there for a day and you don't see them for a week, and then they come back for a couple of days, and they're gone. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
that's tough. That is tough. What about SEO? I know a lot of the trades folks don't really understand SEO. What do you tell them? How do you explain that to them?
Yeah, break it down. SEO is one of the most important elements in your, should be one of the most important elements in your marketing toolbox that you want to invest in, that you want to make sure that you're implementing. Because if I'm Aunt Susie or Uncle Joe or Bob, and I'm looking for a contractor on Google. You want to be able to make sure that you come up on Google Maps for whatever
Mhm.
that search is, whether it's a residential, commercial, HVAC contractor, electrical contractor, or company. You want to show up in the maps within that, they call it the three pack, that three pack section. You want to be as high as possible on that three pack section or that first page. So, how do you do that? Well, you implement SEO, which is optimizing your Google business profile, being able to put the right keywords in there to list your services out, to list your target areas that you serve, make sure that you're getting reviews, uh, building up your what we call NAP, name, address, phone number across the internet on relevant directories. And on the flip side of that, when we go into the website, it's basically optimizing your website and your landing pages for uh, the user, but also for Google too as well. So people get it confused and they'll say, um, the best in Fairfax County. Well, what
Right.
does that mean? It looks nice and it looks pretty on the website, but you might want to say something like your number one commercial electrician in Fairfax County. Okay, boom. Now we know what you do and where you do it at, and that's helpful to Google. So a lot of times people they just go with the catchy phrases, and it's not really the targeted information, or they may say I see this a lot of different times is they'll have your residential contractor in Fairfax, in Bladen County, and Titanton County, and they're targeting all these different counties on one page, and it's confusing Google. So you want to make sure that if you're doing SEO, that you break it down into separate and individual pages.
Nice. And I mean, so I go old school with HTML, and you used to put in the meta tags, right?
Yeah.
All
Uh-huh.
through there. That's kind of what SEO is, but you have to have those words throughout your page in the articles you post in the each page that you're talking about your services. You want to have those words that people are going to be searching for because that'll help Google or whoever find you, right?
Correct.
Nice. Man. Which I'm making a note to myself to go and check my SEO on my stuff. Um, so tell me about your podcast. Who do you have on your podcast?
Yes. So podcast, Blueprint Boost for Contractors. We really try to have on a variety of different people. So whether that's a business owner that's telling their story and giving some valuable feedback and information about their journey along the way, tips to be able to help other contractors. We have coaches on there that specialize in with a variety of different things, helping you with your business growth, opportunities, budgeting. We also have a variety of different technology companies and partners on that really give exposure to different technologies that they have that are able to help the trades and be able to help them implement a piece into inside of their business that's just going to make things easier. So with the podcast, we just try to provide as much value as possible to give back information or something helpful that someone can implement inside of their business to just get their time back, to avoid a mistake that someone else has made and you could avoid it by listening to this information.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. Somebody said a long time ago, uh, learn from other people's mistakes because you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself.
Yep. That's correct.
Good job. And you're an author. Tell me about your books.
Yeah, so published a book, how to double your leads for home service contractors. I was able to publish that, and it's really great, valuable information. Working on part two of that book came out about around
Nice.
2019, but just a lot of valuable information in there of learning just, how to invest or implement different systems inside of your business to be able to double your profits. Look at raising your prices,
Mhm.
look at your overhead, your costs, what you're charging, working on all your marketing systems and channels, and being able to diversify and not become stagnant, and not to just stop when things are good and then when things turn bad.
Right.
you know,
Panic.
you panic.
Yeah. And know your numbers.
Yep.
That's one thing I've learned. A lot of contractors don't really understand their numbers, where those numbers come from, how they can influence those numbers. I remember I had a client a couple of years back, and I said, how did you do last year? Oh, we did really, really good.
Mhm.
Awesome. What was your revenue? I don't know, but we did really good. I said, okay.
Yep.
What about your profit? Oh, yeah, big profits. I go,
Mhm.
really? What were your profit numbers? I don't know, but I know they were really good. It's like, you have no idea where your business is, do you? He goes,
Mhm.
no, I really don't.
Yep.
We had to dive in. I mean, you have to know simple numbers, right? Your revenue, your cost of goods sold, because that's important. A lot of contractors miss out on some of those. Your gross profit, then your expenses, then what your net profit is, right? You got to know those numbers, be able to call those up just to know where you are. So that's good. Any certain tip from your book that you could share with us? What's one of the big tips you give people?
Yeah, so one of the big tips that I give in the book is uh, really taking advantage of service area pages,
Hmm.
or we call them areas we serve pages.
Okay.
And the big tip there is, hey, if you're trying to compete in Phoenix or Dallas, the market is saturated. Like
Hmm.
it's going to take a long time for you to battle your way up to the top page of the search results. But a lot of people miss out on the surrounding areas to target. That around those big locations, there are a lot of subsets in there
Sure.
that you can go after, and you can generate a lot of business from actually going after those subset of areas and putting them on your website and letting people know that you serve these areas. So instead
Nice.
of trying to focus all your attention on Phoenix for 3, 4 years, you're able to pivot a little bit, still focus on Phoenix, but yet
Mhm.
diversify and go after these other areas.
Nice. Yeah, that's one thing that we talk about that a lot in like marketing and sales. People want to be everything to everybody.
Mhm.
I can do anything. It's like, well, I have no idea what that means, right? Get specific. We had a guy that came to one of our networking groups. He was a chiropractor.
Mhm.
And we said, who's your ideal client? And he said, anybody with a spine. It's like, okay, that's not really helpful. You
Yep.
know, I'm not just going to walk up to somebody in the grocery store and say, hey, here's a chiropractor.
Mhm.
So he didn't do too well. He ended up leaving the group. And then we had another guy come in who was a chiropractor. And we said, who's your ideal client? He goes, I want to help your student athlete have the best season of their career. It's like, all right, now I know who to
Yep.
recommend you to, right? It was very specific. And it's like, well, isn't that niche a little too specific? And he goes, no, because I have parents come to me and say, well, can you help me with my back? Or I have grandparents saying, hey, my hip is giving. It opens it up for everybody because they know specifically what you do. And then you get a lot of people. So yeah, coming in and saying, I work in Phoenix. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm over here. Can
Yeah.
you help me in this? Right, Scottsdale. I'm in what are the other little, like I said, a lot of little areas around. If you put that on your website and somebody from that area is looking, say, oh, hey, they know my area and they work here. That opens it
Correct.
up for you, right?
Yep,
So
it does.
yeah, very cool. So let's talk about courage and leadership a little bit. Where did you find the courage to start your own business? I mean, you had a good thing going, you were learning, you were doing work. You probably could have stayed there. Where did you get that courage to break away and make your own success?
Yeah, I got that courage uh to break away and have my own success through an experience I had. I was working with the owner and at the time, and it was an employee that just abruptly left. And it was a major, major project that needed to be completed that they didn't complete. And I volunteered to, hey, I noticed what kind of situation you're in. If you need, this help, just let me know. Just really doing it out of, the kindness of my heart and really looking out. And we kind of developed a pretty good, relationship and bond. And I felt like I built a good amount of trust. We had someone new come into the organization and really kind of shake things up. So as a new person, sometimes a new person could come in and they could try to shake things up, and implement their own stamp. So it was a, stamp that was trying to be implemented and it was not really being on the same page as that person. And then, kind of going to the owner with, hey, like, this is the situation. And they were kind of like, well, it's out of my hands and, or, I can't do anything. And it's, no, you own the company. That relationship that we had was there prior to this person coming in, so you understand, my value, my nuances, and my suggestions and where I stand at from my end. And it just wasn't meeting. And I figured I never wanted to be in that situation like that, where the voice wasn't being heard, or it was falling on deaf ears. So I saw a lot of things that could change, and that probably should have changed for the better. And I just said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get the courage to actually go out on my own, and then that way, even if I'm not mildly successful, right? But if I know if I'm doing things with the right intent and the right heart and motive, and I'm standing behind my people, I can hang my hat on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have other entrepreneurs in your family, or are you the first?
I have other, but not a lot, not a lot. About two.
Yeah, I think I'm the first in our
Yeah.
family, and just the family kind of looks at you like you don't work for somebody. It's like, well, I work for myself. Yeah, but you don't have a job. It's like, well, no, I have a business. Yeah,
Yeah.
but how do you get paid? It's like they don't understand it. It's scary for them, right? So it looks like, wow, you're the bravest person I've ever met. It's like, no, I want more. I want to do things my way, right? I have, like you're saying, I have my mindset on being this type of person, and I can do that freely if I'm working on my own, right? So
Correct.
very cool. How many employees do you have working for you right now?
We have 15 on the marketing side and three on
Nice.
the accounting side.
Very cool. Good job. Um, if I was to bump into any of those folks on the road and ask them what type of leader you are, what do you think they tell me? What kind of leader are you?
I would think that they would tell you a leader that always has their back, that is always willing to share information, and a leader that actually cares about them, and
Nice.
how they're doing, not just with the work, but how they're really doing with their family, with their situation, what they're experiencing, and just someone that particularly cares and takes an interest in them.
Nice. Did you pick that up from somebody? Did you have a leader like that in your career?
I did. I did. I had a leader that was really good in my career at caring for other people and doing a lot for people, and not just in the work and the day to day, but personally, really looking after them and helping them and being sympathetic and understanding that all apples aren't the same apple and oranges aren't the same oranges. And I really admired that. I really admired that kind of qualities that they had and the leadership that they displayed. And I thought that, man, if I ever got the chance to be a leader, I would want to be that kind of leader.
Nice. and it takes courage. We talk about
Right.
different types of courage in here, and one so empathetic courage, having the empathy to see when somebody's hurting, when somebody's struggling, to make room for that. Um, Not just be the boss to tell them, "Hey, get back to work," but to
Yeah.
take time to help them. Hey, let's get past this, and then how can I help you get back on track? Right,
Mhm.
that type of stuff. There's intellectual courage for a lot of, and especially for contractors, they think they have to be the smartest person in the room. They're the ones that want to answer the phone. They're the ones that want to answer the questions, right? They're the ones who want to come up with the solutions and stuff. You have to be able to step back and make room for other people who may have a better idea than you. It's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, I'm not sure. I've never done this before. That's not a
Mhm.
bad thing. Being honest like that is good. And to allow somebody else to step in and do their piece. Um, is there a specific type of courage or something that you've seen throughout your career that maybe somebody showed, and you say that's the courage of a real leader?
Yes. I've seen someone um that showed courage in standing up for someone on the team that was going through a mental health situation.
Hmm,
And
it's huge.
they stood 10 feet tall for that person, um, and didn't bat one eye doing it. And you would have never knew that that situation happened. Like it was a big
Wow.
situation. And that leader stood up for that person, and
Right.
sympathized with what that person was going to. And that takes courage. It was easy to
It
say,
does.
I don't know what's wrong with that person. You know, I don't,
Mm,
agree with that. Well, what happened? Could have thrown him
yeah.
under the bus.
Right. And you see that a lot, right?
Yeah.
The owner looks at them as just a resource. And
Yep.
if they're not pulling their weight, they're out. It's like, well, slow down.
Uh-huh.
This may be your best employee ever, but they're struggling right now. Help them get through this. Right.
Correct.
Wow. Very cool. Good stuff. So what's next for you? What's on your short-term agenda? What are you looking to do
Yeah.
next?
Sure. So what's next? For me is next year we'll be rolling out our technical training side of the business.
Okay.
So we'll be having training programs to really help in the line of HVAC and plumbing. So we're excited about rolling that out. Being able to have that offering, being able to come out to businesses and do technical training and help your reps and your guys to be able to do better, keep up to date with what's going on,
Mhm.
and really learning how to be more efficient.
Nice. So this is aside from everything you're currently doing. It'll be technical training for those
Yes,
HVAC and
correct.
plumbing.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Are you going to lead that or do you have people on your team?
No, we have people on our team
Very
that
cool.
are co-heading up that effort, that initiative that we're doing. So we're excited about it. We're excited to be able to help with that. So it'll be that technical component that would be there, and then where a lot of my expertise will come in will be those customer service type skills, and along with the technical side. So it's a good pairing.
Yeah. Customer service is huge. And like I said, people who answer the phone, you don't think that's a critical thing for your business, right? If they don't answer the phone promptly, if they don't act professional and get all the information you need and stuff like that. I had one lady I called in trying to make I think we're trying to get something built or a bathroom remodeled or something like that. And I called a buddy of mine from a networking group, and I pinged him online first. He said, "Yeah, call so and so, who's his assistant, right?" So I called, and you could hear this girl was out in the mall somewhere. You could hear music playing. You hear all this stuff. She's talking. She goes, "You know what? Can you call me back later? Because I'm not near my desk." It's like, no, you're supposed to be taking information from me. It was just the worst thing in the world. So yeah, that customer service is critical, and how your people respond. And I work with a couple of contractors right now and stuff. The way that their people present the business, because they're representing you. How do they
Correct.
look, right? What do they say when they come up to the door? Say a residential, they knock on the door. If I open the door, what are their clothes dirty? their hair's sticking out over, they're smoking or something like that. It's like, do I really want to invite this person into my house? All that stuff is so critical. And a lot of businesses just overlook it because they're used to working with contractors. They're used to, being dirty and everything like that. From the customer perspective, what does that look like? And are they representing you the way you want to be represented? So yeah, customer service is huge, 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 huge. Very cool. Well, David, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast. If people want to get in touch with you and learn more about Contractor Rhino and some of the things you do, they want to find your podcast. Where can they do that? What's your website?
Yeah, sure. So my website is contractorrhino.com. You can also reach out to me at david@contractorrhino.com is my email address. We're a Contractor Rhino handle on Instagram and Facebook too as well.
Nice. Very cool. Good job. All right. I will make sure all of those links are in the show notes. So people can reach out to you and learn more about what you're offering and keep an eye on those classes. Maybe there's classes. Are those going to be online classes or they be live classes? What do you offer?
Yes. Yep. So they'll be online and in person.
Nice.
So they'll be online and in person too. We're also sorry too when we have that third offering, which will be for electrical training. That will be online mostly for that part.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, I will put those links down in the show notes. Listeners, hope you guys have been taking notes. A lot of good information here. Definitely check out David's website at contractorrhino.com. Look for those training classes when they're available. And check out his podcast too, especially if you're in the trades. If you're in the trades, tune in, listen and learn, right? Good job. All right, David, thanks a lot. Listeners, make sure you share this podcast episode with your friends, family, coworkers. Share it, like it, comment. The comments are big. And subscribe to the podcast too. Really appreciate that. And that's it for me. Until next time, this is Coach Harlan saying so long for now.